Making Roblox UGC is fun, but the setup process can get repetitive really quickly. I'm Ash, and I've been creating on Roblox for almost a decade, with over 5 years experience in 3D modeling and setting up UGC accessories. In the background, you see some of my own work. After making a lot of UGC, I realized how much time gets spent on everything around the accessory itself: textures, recolors, thumbnails, and setup. So I made this plugin to take care of the repetitive parts, keep the process cleaner, and help creators spend more time actually creating. I'll try and leave some timestamps at the bottom of the video, so if you do want to see any specific parts of the plugin, feel free to jump to it. However, I do recommend you watch the whole video as it goes into showcasing everything the plugin is capable of. The first part of the plugin I will be showcasing is the texture set builder. This part of the plugin takes your imported textures and organizes them for you, making them easy to reuse later when generating accessories. It can automatically apply those textures for you, which is especially useful for creators working with recolors or layered clothing, saving you from having to set everything up manually. Firstly, what we're going to do is create a texture set folder. This is where all your imported texture maps and recolors will go. We have a few options on where to create the folder. In this video, we'll be creating it in Workspace. Once you've done that, you want to bulk import your textures using the Asset Manager and insert them into Workspace. Once they have been inserted, click the Transfer Decals button whilst they are still selected. This will transfer our decals into the texture set folder for us. At this stage, you'll want to choose the options that apply to your accessory. For this example, I'm using PBR, so I'll keep surface appearance checked. Since I'm not using emissive maps, I'll have emissive unchecked, although the plugin does support emissive maps for accessories if you need them in the future. The Keep Decals folder option will keep any inserted decals stored neatly in an organized folder. Giving your texture file a name can make it easier to identify later, especially if you're working with multiple accessories. If you leave it blank, the plugin will automatically assign a number to the texture folder instead. We'll leave the texture file name as armor_imperator for easier identification later. If you are creating layered clothing, place the clothing asset made with Roblox's accessory tool into the texture set folder alongside your textures. Next, we'll click Preview Texture Sets. This is just a quick check to show how many textures were found and how many texture sets have been created. In this example, we have 60 textures, which gives us 15 recolors or 15 texture sets. The preview will also display if any clothing is missing a specific map. In this example, I'll delete one of the textures to showcase this. Here it shows that we are missing the Meso Chestplate Roughness map. I'm going to reinsert the Meso Chestplate Roughness map by undoing, and I'm going to press Preview Texture Sets again. Clicking Preview Texture Sets now has given me no warnings, so I will proceed to click Generate Texture Sets. Clicking Generate Texture Sets will organize the textures into folders for you, grouping everything into the correct texture sets. If you're working with layered clothing, it will also generate the clothing assets and apply the correct textures automatically. Just a reminder, Preview Texture Sets is only a precautionary step. You can skip it at any time and go straight to Generate Texture Sets. You may have also noticed a Retry Texture Loads button at the bottom. Sometimes when organizing a large batch of textures, Roblox may fail to check or apply some of them properly. If that happens, wait a moment, then click Retry Texture Loads to reapply any textures that did not load the first time. The plugin has gone ahead and organized everything for us, so all the accessories are in one folder, all of our decals are in another folder, and all of the texture sets are in another folder. After you are done with that batch of layered clothing, you can go ahead and either remove them from the folder or click Clear Output. This will get rid of them from the workspace so you can go ahead and do another batch of layered clothing. This section of the video will be covering the accessory and thumbnail builder. This is how you turn your mesh into an accessory as well as creating thumbnails for them. It will also cover how to automatically set up your accessories with the textures for you. To start off, I have imported my mesh and placed it into the workspace, and I've also imported 60 of my textures using the asset manager. This is a PBR accessory, so these 60 textures will be for 15 accessories. We will be using the texture set builder briefly to organize the textures for us so that we can use it later. Once we have the texture set builder open, we're going to choose the location we want to place our textures into. In this case, I want the texture set folders to be in workspace. Next, we click create texture set folder to generate the folder. After that, we insert all of our textures into the workspace. Next, we press transfer decals, and all the decals are inside the texture set folder for us. After that, ensure the relevant options are checked. In my case, I am creating a PBR accessory, so I will keep PBR checked. My accessory doesn't have emissive maps, so I will keep that unchecked. I'll be setting the name for my texture so I can identify it for use later. Next, I click Preview Texture Sets. This will tell me if I'm missing any specific map from my recolors. It has successfully found all the textures and none of my recolors are missing any texture maps. I then click Generate Texture Sets. This will organize all of the textures, ensuring the correct textures go with one another. We can then clear the output as it has been organized for us to use in the Accessory Builder section. After closing the texture set builder, all we have to do is position and scale our mesh to how we want it to fit on the character when it is worn. Once you are happy with how it looks, click on the accessory and thumbnail creator. Firstly, we select the mesh and click Use Selected Mesh. Then we select the dummy and click Use Selected Dummy. After that, we choose this accessory type. In this case, I chose hat for my helmet. Next, I name my accessory. This is not necessary, but it's easier to identify. Next, I click Create Accessory. This makes the mesh into an accessory for me. After that, I click Setup Thumbnail. This opens the thumbnail creator. You can control the camera movement by holding down left mouse button and dragging. Using the scroll wheel will zoom in and out. Please be aware this does affect your FOV. If you open the camera settings tab, you have the option to use sliders to control the camera. You also have buttons you can click which will change your camera. Reset Camera changes your camera back to the default settings. Clicking Swap Camera changes from normal preview to FOV preview. You can adjust the lighting using the lighting slider in the lighting tab or by holding right mouse button and dragging. There's also preset buttons you may click. Clicking Apply Thumbnail will create a thumbnail object inside your accessory. Checking the box under Apply Thumbnail will ensure only the recolor you are previewing right now will have the thumbnail applied. You can create camera presets. This will let you reuse your desired thumbnail on other accessories. Typing in the name of the preset or clicking the preset and then clicking Delete Preset will remove it. Clicking Preview Options gives you additional features that will assist in thumbnail creation. Clicking a dummy and then View on Dummy will preview your accessory on the selected dummy. If the selected dummy has clothes or accessories equipped, this will be showcased in the preview. Clicking camera indicators will assist creators visualizing the movement of the camera. Clicking lighting indicator will showcase where the light is being projected onto your accessory. You can insert a user ID to preview your accessory on a character. You can preview your previously imported textures on your accessory by clicking the folder and selecting a texture. Keep in mind, whatever your accessory looks like in the FOV preview is how it will look like in the marketplace. Once you are happy with how your thumbnail looks, you can click Apply Thumbnail. Select the relevant options to your accessory. In my case, I am making a PBR accessory, so I will select that. After that, clicking Generate Accessories will apply all of your recolors from the folder and make them into an accessory with the thumbnail you have created. If your textures ever fail, you can click the Retry Texture button at the bottom. This will reapply your textures for you. You can change individual recolor thumbnails by selecting the current recolor only box. If you want to apply thumbnail changes to all of the recolors, uncheck this box. Once you are happy with everything, you can close the plugin and submit your accessories like normal. In this section of the video, I'll be covering the Bounds Validator. This helps you quickly check if your rigid accessory is likely within Roblox's size limits. It shows a visual bounds box and color codes the result so you can catch sizing issues before upload. Open the Rigid Bounds Validator and click Enable. Then select your accessory in Workspace. The plugin will show a bounds box around it. You can select multiple accessories at once to check them together. Green means is likely within Roblox's rigid accessory bounds. Red means it may be too large or outside the allowed area. In this section of the video, I'll be covering Fit Check. This allows you to test accessories before publishing them. Once you have opened Fit Check, you want to select an accessory and click Add Selected Accessory. Clicking Preview in Viewport, selecting a dummy, and then pressing Use Selected Dummy will showcase the accessory on your chosen dummy. You can also load in custom characters by using a player ID and clicking Load User ID. If you press Try with Character, this will save this as a preset that you can use again later. In this example, I've used my player ID twice, but I've changed my avatar. This is to showcase that it saves your character. Having Fit Check in-game turned on allows you to playtest your accessory with your chosen character. If you turn on Remove Existing Character Accessories, this will remove all accessories from the character. The only accessory visible should be the one you selected. In this section of the video, I'll be covering Reset Data. Reset Data is here for cleanup and troubleshooting. It lets you clear selected plugin data, generated folders, or helper scripts without having to search through Studio manually. You can choose exactly what you want to remove or use Select All if you want a full reset. Please keep in mind this video may not cover everything as the plugin is being constantly updated.